What would happen if you punched someone at 99% the speed of light? Let's set aside the question of how you got your fist moving that fast. We'll suppose it's a normal punch, except that in the instant your arm extends, a wizard appears and magically accelerates your fist to 0.99c. From that point onward, everything proceeds according to normal physics. And what proceeds turns out to be a lot of things. They all happen very, very quickly, and it doesn't end well for the person being punched or for the puncher. What follows is my best guess at a nanosecond-by-nanosecond portrait. Your fist is moving so fast that everything else is practically stationary. Even the molecules in the air are frozen in place. Normally, air molecules vibrate back and forth at around 1,000 miles per hour, but your fist is moving through them at 664 million miles per hour. This means that as far as your fist is concerned, they're just hanging there. The ideas of aerodynamics don't apply here. Normally, air would flow around an object moving through it, but the air molecules in front of your fist don't have time to be jostled out of the way. Your fist smacks into them so hard that the atomic nuclei in the air molecules, mostly nitrogen and oxygen, actually fuse with the atomic nuclei on the surface of your knuckles. Each collision releases a burst of gamma rays and scattered subatomic particles. These gamma rays and debris expand outward in a bubble centered on the path of your fist. They start to tear apart the molecules in the air, ripping electrons from nuclei and turning the air in the room into an expanding bubble of incandescent plasma. The surface of this bubble approaches the target at about the speed of light, only slightly ahead of your fist itself. The constant fusion at the front of your fist pushes back on it, slowing it down, but it also starts to eat away at the surface, blasting tiny particulate fragments of your hand in all directions. First, the shell of X-rays and superheated plasma arrives. The target hasn't even seen you start the punch, since the light carrying that information arrives at the same time as the lethal radiation. Before your fist can even touch them, their body is flash heated to millions of degrees and begins to disintegrate. A few nanoseconds later, what's left of your fist hits what's left of the target. Collisions with the air have eaten your fist away almost completely, and it is now a bullet-shaped cloud of expanding plasma, mainly carbon, oxygen, hydrogen, and nitrogen ramming into the target and triggering even more fusion as it goes. The result is not a punch, but a thermonuclear explosion. The combined mass of you, your target, and a good chunk of the building you were in are all scooped up and carried outward in a fireball. Suppose you're watching from a hill outside the city. The first thing you see is a blinding flash, far outshining the sun. This gradually fades over the course of a few seconds, and a growing fireball rises into a mushroom cloud. Then with a great roar, the blast wave arrives, tearing up trees and shredding houses. Everything within roughly a mile of the punch is leveled, and a firestorm engulfs the surrounding city. The spot where you threw the punch is now a sizable crater. A careful reading of the legal definition of battery suggests that the act requires an unlawful and harmful or offensive touching. Since the target was vaporized by a shell of hard radiation before the fist's constituent plasma could make physical contact, a clever lawyer might argue that, technically, no touching occurred, and therefore no crime was committed.